Evening, Gasheads. We're back, or should I say, hola, and welcome back to another episode. We're back, episode 57. Hope everyone is doing well. Like I said, it is our last episode before Christmas. If you do enjoy, make sure you leave a like as always. Get in your thoughts, questions. I'm sure most of you have seen the news about who the new gaffer is going to be. Obviously, it's not official yet, but it's pretty much done. Leave all your thoughts. We're going to be talking about, of course, the Wrexham game, Calderon, getting into other questions and every other thing that if anyone wants to ask, etc. And also we're going to be looking ahead to Exeter and Stevenage, because our next episode won't be until, if we're all available, the day after Stevenage, which is the 30th of December. Because obviously Stevenage is 4 days after Christmas. We don't really want to be doing stuff before then. We'll get into all that in a bit. But yeah, how we doing, lads? Josh, you good?
All good, mate. Very excited for a Spanish remontada, I think it's called. He looks like an interesting candidate. Kind of came a little bit out of the blue a couple of days ago, but look, I'm not going to lie, I don't know anything about him. But upon research, I'm on the train, so yeah, I'm all good, mate. I'm all good.
Yeah, good to hear. And Neil, how are you? You good?
Yeah, mate, all good. Work's all done. Sweet.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, same. I'm glad about that. Need this break. Need this break.
How did your Christmas play go, by the way, Charlie?
Oh yeah, it was good. Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I was the. For anyone that don't know, I work in a primary school, and I was involved in the Christmas play. I was a sheep, so yeah, it was class. So that went well, to be fair. Let's get into it. I mean, we'll start off with. We'll just get into the Calderon stuff, I guess. Like I said, I'll do like a separate video whenever it gets announced, giving my full thoughts on it. But yeah, I just want to get all your guys' thoughts for whatever, if you know anything, whether you've just seen little bits. Neil, I'll get your thoughts first. Obviously, there's a lot of Spanish comments going in, even into Sam, Joe, Morgs, Ben, Daryl, Chris, Harry Jenkins, Buenos, the other two words, I'm not going to say that. Fall on Blue, Jason MH, and Ben as well, even into you, mate. Hope you all have a good Christmas to you and your families. Yeah, hopefully the same for everyone else. Thanks for the support. Obviously, last episode we got to squeeze one in. So hope everyone else has a really good Christmas as well. And see you on Boxing Day to whoever is going Exeter away as well. Neil, your thoughts on Calderon, if you've seen anything, your thoughts on other stuff as within that as well. What do you make of it?
Well, like I said to you the other day when we was on here, I don't hate it. Like that the model of a continental coach that's familiar with like the process and policy of working with a head of recruitment, director of football, understanding that relationship, etc. We've looked as far as a football club. You think about all the previous managers we've had. We've gone down every other route. We've gone down every other route. So I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. Like I said before, like when you bring in someone like this, no one can beat him with a stick because they've got nothing prior to hit him with. You know what I mean? Because they've got he's never had his fingers burnt in EFL, in League One. No one can revert back to anything to give him our time. Do you know what I mean? It's clean slate. He's obviously looking to keep making strides in his coaching journey. He's got a load of he's got great experience under his belt in the term of being in and around a football club of when it really got going. I think he was part of Poyet's setup under Brighton when it really started to gain traction about the model of how that operates. And if you think about that bloke, what he's probably seen, witnessed, listened to, and all the rest of it when it comes to that recruitment model, if he can implement any of that into this football club, then we'll be on to a pretty good thing as far as picking up gems, pushing them on, making good money off of players that exceed expectations. And if we don't get promotions, the footballers will, with sell-ons and add-ons and all the rest of it. So as far as identifying a target, I don't mind it one bit. It is a bit left field, but as far as potential, what you're looking for as far as his background, he's already in the country. He's already adapted. He's already played here. He knows the culture. He's not coming in, wet behind the ears to anything. The only question mark is, are you going to let this fella go and do his job?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree. For me, to be fair, like we discussed it a little bit, obviously the other day. For me, I'm sort of glad it's we're going a sort of away, because if you look at all the other managers that were obviously, you look at like Schumacher and that they were never linked, but obviously they were the ones that most people would have went for. But the more sort of realistic ones, the managers just were out of work for me. I didn't really like them anyway. So I would rather us go down this route. Someone that, like you said, has been part of the club on the up. He's played for them, gone into coaching. He's done degrees, stuff like that. He knows his stuff, and he's going to bring a brand of football, because where Brighton, they're probably one of the most successful clubs, getting young players in. He's actually worked as a scout there as well. Pascal Gross, who's one of Brighton's best players, and was obviously there for a while until he went to Dortmund last summer. He scouted him in. So he also brings that, not just coaching, but he can also help and discuss things with Friend, which I like. And like you said, the brand of football, I should imagine it's going to be like what it is at Brighton, where they play sort of high energy, possession, very attacking, mainly a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. So I like all that stuff, to be honest. And from what I've seen so far, I saw a few Brighton podcasts say like really good things. So yeah, like you said, it's one of those where, it's a fresh start. His first, obviously, job in a proper, not working with under 18s. So obviously there's a risk, but every manager is a risk. So I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. Yeah, it's not obviously been announced yet, but it looks 99% sure that it's going to be done, and there's going to be no other things. He's already got his pro license. There's no things other than that. So it looking really good, to be honest. Josh, your thoughts? I know you don't know. You're the same as us, really, and a lot of Rovers fans, you don't really know a lot. But what's your thoughts on the way we're going with a sort of a bloke that's worked within the under 18s and has been a big part of Brighton?
Well, listen, I'll be very honest and say that I think a lot of people sometimes have a tendency to say that they know a lot about someone when they've never heard of the bloke before. So I think we need to be honest and say, look, we have absolutely no idea what he's like as a coach. Do we all know him as a player? Yes, we've heard the name as a player.
Yeah.
But as a coach, unless you watch under 18s Brighton football, you won't know what to expect. And I kind of like that, because he is going to be bringing fresh ideas. I think we can all expect some sort of style of play similar to the Arteta, Emery, Iraola, Valverde kind of
Basque Virgin.
Yeah, Basque football, So it's going to be that 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1. It's going to be exciting football, and that's the plan, by the way.
Yeah.
But as far as people are saying, it's like, oh, it's a risk because he's never managed. Everyone has to get their first job at some point. Go back two seasons ago, maybe 2.5 seasons ago, and people were saying they were nervous about Schumacher taking over Plymouth. Like, it's you have to get your first job at some point.
Yeah.
I totally agree with what Neil said, and I didn't actually stop to consider that, to be honest. The mould of emulating Brighton, to have him come in, and if we don't get promoted, the players will, because of high sell-on fees, good performance, etc. I think that's a really good point. It could be, and I will finish this point in a second, it could be a match made in heaven with our new owners because of the longevity and the kind of plan they want for the club. I would just say, however, I know Matt Taylor got sacked, and there's probably other things on their mind, but they did promise us an interview to come out with the chairman about this new, stadium update and stuff. We haven't had that yet, so we want to see that, just FYI. But I would also say, like, again, what Neil said, it could be a great appointment if they let him do his job.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I'm more excited because it just feels fresh. It feels new. It's like Neil said again, I always agree with Neil, but we've tried everything else.
Yeah,
we've tried everything else. We've tried old heads. We've tried, people who've had promotions. We've tried absolute, wallads. We've tried people who were fresh. We've tried people with good connections. The only thing we haven't tried is unexperienced, European manager. And I'm excited just to see more of, what's this going to be like, rather than excited that it's him, because I don't know anything about him.
Yeah. It's that thought of the unknown is quite exciting.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It feels quite refreshing that you're kind of like going into something you don't really know. And I quite like that. I'm excited, and I'm hearing this. It's going to be Ben Garner Part 2. I
disagree.
Amazing. I disagree. This guy's got 500 career appearances. Ben Garner has 0. So
yeah, exactly.
Let's be patient. I have heard a lot of people saying give him 18 months and then and then finally know how you feel. If results is going terribly, then you might not be able to get to the 18-month mark. But let me just say, look at what Arteta did when he came into Arsenal. He's unknown. Pep's number 2, and he's got that club challenging for titles, challenging. He's got the also what's the word? The kind of like resilience back. No one wants to play Arsenal anymore. When we used to be a laughing stock, and I feel like we've lost that at Rovers a little bit. Hopefully he'll get that kind of, hang on a minute, they're pretty good back into us.
Yeah, I mean the thing is the main thing is like you said, all we want to do is just see a style of play and just be competitive, basically, and obviously try and get as many good results as possible. But we've not had that, since Taylor's come in. That, and even even under other managers, we've not had that. Yeah, that style. So, like you said, it's a new challenge, something out of the unknown. It's exciting, yes. Is it a risk? Yes, but like I said, like everyone knows, every manager is a risk, even if they've done well before. But yeah, I like it. I do really like it. He should have some connections, like you said. He's got that style, the Brighton model, where they play football, like to play football, like to create lots of chances, have a lot of possession, and like you said, he's got that aspect as well as working as a scout there as well. Which is also a thing that I like.
One thing I will say, I'm just need to go and rock the boy back to sleep. But before I do, he left the cushy Spanish life to come to League One, battle it out with Brighton, get him up to the Championship, captain the side. Like, he's that Spanish English boy. Like, it's like he's also got a bit of grit about him, because I also think these players need a bit of a bollocking every now and again. No more Mr. Nice, because I'm hearing he's a nice guy. He looks like he has that steely side as well. So I'm looking forward to that. But I will be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no worries. I completely agree. Yeah, it's just, it's like that fresh start. Obviously, he's not going to be, whether if it's going to be tomorrow, it should be in, when it does get appointed, he should be in charge of the Stevenage game. But yeah, going forward, like I said, it's just something out of that unknown nil in it, and something completely different to what we've had before. Because like you said, a lot of not a lot of people, but a few people have, and this, fair enough, people can have their opinions, of course. I've had some shocking opinions before myself, but where they mention, the Ben Garner thing, but like you said, Ben Garner didn't even play football, whereas this guy he's played loads of football in his career, and then he's gone on to coaching and been doing very well and successful.
Yeah, I think the lads, when he comes in, will be in for, they'll quickly realise that they'll probably work a lot harder than they ever have under British coaches. That's just the way. Like, if you was to be in and around sort of coaches on the continent, they tell you that British coaches are deemed lazy by them, because the Spanish, Italian, and Germans, they just work harder. They're more due diligent.
Yeah.
They do far more work off the training pitch as well as on it. And I've played for a German coach, and it wasn't pleasant, but I was the fittest I ever was, and we was well drilled.
That's one thing.
We was well drilled, and we all knew exactly what we wanted to do, and we got success from it. But he ran us into the ground, and we didn't leave that training pitch until every box was ticked. And I think that's what European coaches do at whatever level. And I think these lads will quickly realise it, that he'll probably have a clear idea of what he wants, and he'll drum it into him. That he won't waver. He will not waver, and they'll either shape up or ship out, some of these lads. And I think it'll be interesting to see what the windows look like as far as recruitment, given the fact that what 1 to 2 windows is normally mapped out 80% of what you want to remove and what you want to bring in ahead of time. Yeah. And then I would have thought Calderon will come in and have a conversation with friends and say, hold on, I know this fella, we can get hold of this fella. And then that'll have to be reshaped a little bit to see what is achievable in the way that he wants to set his side up, how he wants to do. Because some of these lads, just regardless of if they are talented enough, if they haven't got the mentality to meet his demands work ethic wise, will probably be shipped out.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like you said, because especially if it is going to be, the Brighton model, you see how, they're always top of, and it starts from, the under, 10s, 12s and upwards and into 18s, and then finally into the first team, where you see all the time the distances. That's going to be the first thing. By the time, in the future, we should be one of the, or it'll try and make us into one of the fittest teams, along with, having that like really good style as well. But yeah, I agree. You need that, fitness, especially if you're working hard at every single thing, whether it's fitness, whether it's the way you play out from the back, etc. That's what we need. Yeah, for sure.
If he's going to be a, like, I've not seen him play, but going on the basis of what he probably will look to do, if he's going to be a ball retention counter pressing coach, then these lads, he won't have to put anything in place as far as looking at their stats and raising their figures fitness wise. Just doing those drills will get them there, because they won't have a choice. When you're basically essentially playing basketball for 90 minutes, that's essentially the sort of legwork you're doing, because you've got to be built like a racehorse to do it. And these lads are just going to have to just adapt. And if they don't, and some players that do have niggles and injury concerns, and some of them can't do 2 games a week, and some of them do break down after 6 games, they probably won't last under this coach, because there's going to be huge demands on them to be physically right to do it.
Yeah, completely agree. Yeah, completely agree. Like you said, I think that's the one. Even Mitch saying, what's the manager like? Pretty much we've literally just gone over it. Very attacking coach, likes to have the ball, likes to get players forward and attack, literally just like the Brighton model, basically. If any of you are joining that and have missed it, then feel free to go back. Of course, if you're watching back on the replay, then leave your thoughts as well. And like I said, I'm sure Josh would do one as well tomorrow, and me, if there's when it gets announced, we'll give more of our thoughts on that as well. Matt saying, I'm looking forward to seeing what this new manager brings. Wasn't Della Fuente Spain's manager also from? There's loads. There's loads. There's like you said, Arteta, Emery. There's the Iriola, Bournemouth. There's loads. There's loads.
Lopetegui.
Lopetegui. Valverde. There's loads. Mad. There's countless names, and like you said, when he's that's the thing that I like as well, when he's sort of, like you said, left Spain to come to England, play in League One, even to do that as a player, get promoted with them, was there 6 years, and then take on the different roles. And like you said, Josh, and like everyone, sort of questioning the whole thing, a manager needs that opportunity and needs that. And yes, people might say, it is a bit dodgy, you know, with the situation we're in, etc. Yes, it is, but like I said to before, I would rather go and try something completely new, because for me personally, I didn't like hardly any of the managers that we were linked to, and we've gone down that road too many times before, where, you know, we get managers that have all this experience, or they've managed and they're not currently in a job, and then they're, for me, I'd rather go down this route. So
I will just say as well, again, two things. One, think about Arteta when he was first employed at Arsenal, because everyone was saying, "What are you doing, going for this unexperienced manager?" And like, he needed a shot, and look what's happened. He redesigned the culture. That's what I was looking for. That word, the culture.
Yeah, culture. Yeah.
I will just say as well, I know that fans. Look, we're not none of us are best pleased about these owners at the minute. But I will just say, if it doesn't work out with this manager, it will take 30 seconds for fans to jump on the owners and say, "Why would you ever, employ a manager with no experience?" I just want you to remember how you're feeling right now about that kind of excitement and kind of like, like looking forward to the future. Because yes, all right, it could be risky. But, if we're going for Kevin Nolan, that's risky because he's been out of the game for 4 years. If you're going for someone like Karanka, same thing there. If you're going for, someone like Wimmer, 69 games in charge, that's it. Like, none of the options were absolute set in stone. We couldn't go for a Schumacher, a Lowe, a Robin.
Yeah, they were never going to come.
We don't have the budget, and we're not a big enough thing. Like, I actually appreciate a little bit of like freshness, and if it doesn't work out, I don't know if I'll be jumping down the owner's throats. But again, listen, it hasn't even been officially announced yet, so we're getting ahead of ourselves.
It's got to play out the way it plays out, though, isn't it? You can't, if a manager's going to die, he's got to die on his sword, isn't it? You can't, like, if it's going to be interference, he's not got a fair crack.
That's why I said earlier.
He has to get a fair crack at this.
Agreed.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff we're going to speak on so far. Obviously, in the next episode, when it gets announced, we'll speak a little bit more on it once we find out more things and get different opinions on it as well. So, like I said, the next one will be the 30th of December, the day after Stevenage. We'll see what we're all doing, whether it's a stream or a video. But yeah, thanks everyone tuning in now. Keep getting your questions. Keep liking the stream if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe if you're new as well. Appreciate the support as always. But yeah, let's jump into Wrexham. 1-1 draw. Promise getting the goal. It was a very interesting game. Obviously, the one thing I will say before, it was just, and I've already tweeted it felt like the normal mem within the last 10 minutes of the game, because before that, me and Josh have already talked about it. But I'll quickly get your thoughts, Neil. What did you make? I know I asked you this a lot, but when that lineup come out, I mean, even you must have thought, "Wow, what are we trying to do here?" And then, what was your thoughts on how the game panned out?
Honestly, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it because I could see what Orson was trying to do. I could see what he's trying to do, and I won't hate it if he does it going into Exeter. Like, you got to understand that could have fallen one or two ways for him, and that game could have gone as it probably shouldn't have if Wrexham would have been at the races and done their job properly. Should have been out of sight. But what Orson has done is he set us up to try and stay in the game long enough to roll the dice come the end, and then chuck what attacking threat you've got at it fresh. But like I've always said, the problem I always have with looking at sides is when you can't understand what you're trying to achieve. But on Saturday, whether you liked it or hate it, you could see what he was trying to do. You've got to play that game in quarters. You've got to play that game in quarters and get to stages, and then see where you roll the dice at some point. And if you'd have said to Horseman at 2:00, do you know what? We're going to get to this game, and with quarter of an hour, you're still going to be in this game. And he'd have gone, lovely, because I've got all my artillery here to throw at it. The problem is, if you flip the coin on its head and Wrexham do everything they should have done right, the game's out of sight and everyone's jumping down his throat going, "What have you done? You've sat in and got pummeled."
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? it's a ballsy move, and you've got to appreciate it's a ballsy move.
Yeah, very, very ballsy.
It's played out the way you'd have liked to, with a bit of the rubber of the green. He'd have sat down with his coaching staff, looked at all of that, and gone like, "We're going to need a fair bit of luck to get us to 15 minutes before I can chuck these lads at it and try and roll the dice and make it a 50-50 game, and we'll either fall short or we'll get some." And with a bit of luck and a bit of the rubber of the green, we come up trumps and nick something at the end. Now, there's a lot of flying around that we deserved it. There's two ways of looking at it. If you're Parkinson and you're Wrexham, they didn't deserve it because they didn't do their job properly. Like, Wrexham should have put us to bed. Well and truly put us to bed.
Yeah.
The only way we deserved it is, and I'll go back to what I've said before about leaders. We're struggling for leaders. We have been for ages. But what Wilson never does, we'll get beat. He won't let us fold. Wilson won't let us fold. I know we've had Orient and I know we've had Huddersfield, but over the course of a season, he won't let us collapse. If we're going to get beat, we won't get our asses handed to us. If you look at the games, we get beat. We get beat well in the sense that we don't have a shot on goal and we don't give ourselves a fighting chance. But as far as when the ball keeps coming at us, he'll do everything he can to get his back line in order and what is in front of him to say, "Do you know what? We're not folding today. We might get beat, but we will not collapse." And you've got to credit him for that. Yeah,
100%. I mean, was there any main standout performers from you, or what players did you the subs? They definitely changed the game, didn't they?
I don't see anyone as a standout performer for me. As far as like, I think we rode our luck and we dug in and we were gritty and we didn't collapse, we didn't fold. We could have gone 1-0 down and gone, sod this, we ain't got a prayer. But like I said, mentality wise and Wilson not letting us do that, because that game could have got away with us if we'd have taken our foot off the pedal and just have gone, "Do you know what, they're coming at us. It's waves and waves and waves," and just sucked it up and let another one go in. It'd be curtains. But if I'm going to give anyone credit, it's got to be Horseman for implementing the plan. Yeah, riding our luck, and we got to 15 minutes before time at 1-0, still in the game, and he's rolled the dice, and the lads that he's brought on have performed for him and their teammates. So if I'm going to give anyone a bit of credit, it's got to be Horseman, because after sort of Orient, he was taking pelters, wasn't he, the fella? Now, I'm not saying the blokes. I'm not saying the bloke's like Del Bosque and he's got it all sussed or anything. But as far as getting a group of men as a bloke that's in an interim position, because he could be out the door in no time. Yeah, he's got a response out of them lads. Fair play to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh, what was your thoughts? I know we were there together, witnessed it with Henry and that. But yeah, looking back at it, what did you make? We both seen the lineup and thought, I think 85%, especially online, and even when you were going into the game, everyone was like, what is this lineup? But yeah, what did you make of it? Looking back at it, the game, performance, players that stood out, etc.
Yeah, the lineup is what it is. I understand why. I get it. Like, I think most people will understand why he went for a flat 5 at the back. I get it. Wrexham are on fire, and to an extent, you could argue that it worked because we got a 1-1 draw, and the subs were the one that came on and created the carnage. But just the initial shock of seeing it was like, oh my god. I guess if you look deeper, you can understand why. Standout performers. Let me just start off by saying, for 80 minutes, I thought we were pretty woeful. Not even in the sense that we weren't like creating stuff, but it was more that we couldn't even string a pass together. We were from where we were sitting in the West stand when you were with me. It's watching Taylor Moore and Wilson. They were just getting so aggravated throughout that whole entire first half because nothing was coming off. And we just couldn't find a pass. So then he brought on Joe Senior at halftime, and I think he brought on Promise at halftime as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And
I thought Senior did really, really well. It's as you said it, didn't you? Why are we playing with wing backs if you're not going to play wing backs?
Yeah.
And I thought Promise had his best game in a gas shirt, to be honest. I know he's not clinical. He was on Saturday, but I know he's not clinical usually. But we just miss his presence up top and what he can do and bring people into play. I thought that I try not to look at Neil when I say this, but I thought LT in that left wing role actually kind of suited him as well. I remember H said when we were sat there, he's so bad off the left, but actually it opens up that ball on his left foot. He didn't have to cut inside to deliver. So I actually thought that worked quite well. And obviously he stands it up back post, promised him a cherry 1-1. Wrexham weren't as good as I thought, to be honest. But then I guess if you always look top down, maybe that's credit to Horseman for frustrating them so much. I got a bit carried away with his interview. He was honest, and he basically said, in a way, we were crap for most of that game, and we'll definitely take that point because the fans deserve something to cheer about. And I just appreciated that he was so clear and so honest and not trying to pull the wool over our eyes. In the past, we would have heard, well, the weather makes it hard to play, and I just appreciated. Look, we weren't great, but we need to start getting better, and I liked that. And the atmosphere in those last 10-15 minutes, I think, was electric. We had, I think, the third biggest attendance of the whole weekend in the EFL.
Yeah. It was mad. That was our highest this season by 1,000, I think it was.
Yeah. Was it the EFL or League One and below? I can't remember, but yeah, it was.
Maybe League One and below.
That's what I think. Yeah. But it was just really nice to have a little bit of. I just know there was just a little bit of bite, that Lindsay tackle right in the start.
Yeah, it was a Lindsay one.
Like, we were up for it. We didn't have the quality to compete with them toe to toe, like as in, and it might be a little bit a case of Wrexham missed chances, but I think Promise needed that. I think I read an article from Dan that stated that he's been playing through injury and that he's now fully fit. So that would be really good to see him kick on. LT has to start or has to be in the squad at least now from that performance. Yeah. And I think that Shaq looked lively when he came on. I think Chris Martin, he was a bit like, but he played the whole 90 and he did all right, but I don't know. There's a lot left we need to figure some stuff out quickly. But Horseman said that as well, and he's called that out in public now by saying, "Look, we need to be better." And I agree, and I appreciate that refreshing interview and style from him. And I think he can do that because he's made it quite clear he doesn't want the job.
Yeah.
So he's just saying it how it is, and I really like that. As fans, most people want to hear the truth, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like you said, I was very shocked when the lineup come out, like most other people. But yeah, I could see it, trying to not let them get through, basically. But yeah, like I said to you, when you play with wing backs, you want to see actual wing backs, not centre backs. Like Mola's, looked poor in the last few weeks as a wing back. Like, he's not a wing back, he's a left back or a centre back. Same with Taylor Moore. Taylor Moore is, if you're going to play Taylor Moore, you play him either in a flat back two or you play him in a back three as a centre back.
I'd even play James Wilson right wing back if we had to, because he's got a hell of an engine on him.
Yeah. He does like the overlap.
He loves an overlap. He's a little bit skillful, and he's got a hell of a cross on him as well. I'm not saying we should play James Wilson right wing back, but I thought he could be an option moving forward. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. But yeah, it was, especially first half. First half was so poor. The goal, yes, is a good ball from Matty James, but there should not be the gap there when you're playing that. I know they were a bit out of position, but yeah, even I think we've seen it with the Lindsay tackle. We've seen it a lot in the second half. But first half, there was no, apart from the Lindsay tackle, like, players were, bottling challenges. Not going full throttle. We were there. The passing was really poor. No one was moving. It's sort of almost hard to watch when Claire and Martin are up top, and you think, this isn't working, and we couldn't really do much. But then, like you said, when the subs come on, I thought LT was brilliant. I've said in the past openly that he can be a frustrating player, but I sort of agree with you on that left-hand side where he didn't have to cut in. Like, every single cross he put in was pretty much spot on. And he just
did also mean that he didn't get any shots away, though, really, because he wasn't shooting from that angle, so he was more crossing the ball rather than shooting. But
his crosses were spot on.
Yeah, the dynamic worked.
Yeah, his crosses were spot on, and it's even mad, isn't it? Like the whole situation's mad. But it's our joint top assister, and he's created the most chances. And I put it out the other day, the post, how many games he's not been on in the squad and etc. But yes, he might be a frustrating player to some, but creativity wise, he's the best in the squad, and the stats are there. But yeah, Senior, I agree as well. Really good. I like Senior. I seen him Saturday night as well. What a guy. What a guy, Senior. Omachiri, I said it in my reaction after. I thought he was brilliant. Won a lot of duels. Even the little interplay was brilliant. The header was brilliant. He never looked like not winning that header and scoring. When it come over, I was so... And I even said to you, even though we were so poor with 20 minutes left, I'm like, these are here for the taking, because I don't know who said it. I can't remember who said it, but Wrexham, for the opportunities and the spaces they got into, Josh Griffiths didn't have a lot to do.
No, not
a lot of their shots were close or just wide up, but he didn't have a lot to do, Griffiths. Really, I can't remember having them that many. A lot of their shots went over, didn't they, or went just over, etc. Like, couldn't really do much about the goal. But yeah, then in the last 10 minutes, if there was any team who was going to win it, it looked like us. So it was a bit of a mad game, but we finally scored a goal before Christmas. There you go. And a good point in the end. But yeah, hopefully we can just build on it now. We need to build on it. We need to hurry up and get the manager in, and then let's see. But now we will get on to Exeter. They are our opponents on Boxing Day. Got the win there last season, a game we were dominated in. Jed Ward was brilliant. I think we only had one shot on target there last year, and one with that Aguilera won the goal in the top bins. And we've struggled a lot against Exeter for quite a lot of the time we've played them over recent years. I can't remember many wins. I know there was we obviously, when Matt Taylor was in charge to them, we lost to them twice. There's just been so many bad games, but for me, like, they're one of the best footballing teams under Caldwell. On a very small budget, they do very well, and they've had quite a tough run. They did get a win on the weekend. I don't know if any of you have seen that Ali goal. Absolute worldie of a finish from him. But before that, they lost to Barnsley, lost to Stockport 2-0, drew with Wickham, lost to Birmingham. They have had a tough run, but I think it's going to be really tough, to be honest. I mean, I'll go with your thoughts, Neil. What do you make of that game, and what do you make of Exeter? Because I think maybe, I can't even remember now, but when we did our pre-season predictions, I think maybe one of us, I don't know if all of us put them to go down, because we were saying a lot that they would struggle. But to be fair, Caldwell's done brilliant there on such a small budget. He's implemented a style, and they're quite a good side. They're 5 points ahead of us. They're on 27 points. But yeah, Neil, what do you make of Exeter, that game? It's going to be a tough one, isn't it? I think, like I said, it's always tough against them.
Yeah, going there's always difficult, not just for us, just in general. I think, again, Exeter, they pull no punches, and they don't apologise for what they are, and they just go about. They know exactly what they want to do and how they go about it, and they implement it pretty well. Like, I think all them players know exactly what Calderon wants from them. So, and I think they're in a position, Exeter is, given the club they are, that if they do miss out and they don't get the result, they're never really under too much pressure from within. They're in quite a nice, comfortable position. They they've got players. You know, like when we had Ryan Woods once. You know, after a certain time, he became passive. You know, he became a passenger because of the way we played. But he suits Exeter down to the ground and the way they operate and the way they do things. So it's horses for courses with that. I find Exeter really inoffensive. You know, they're just a football club doing things the right way, living within their means, trying their best, and giving their fans a little bit of joy by playing a decent brand, something nice on the eye, with no real expectation of doing anything other than being a League One football club. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Chris would be happy with a point against Exeter. Tom Butler, there's quite a lot of Coldwell out down here. Yeah, I remember you're from Exeter now, but that's interesting, to be honest. For them to be, quite angry. I mean, what are they? They must be 4 points off the playoffs. It's a pretty interesting one, isn't it? Because they've, their fixture. I mentioned their fixture. They've been on a very, very tough run against teams with a lot. Exeter is probably bottom 4, bottom 5, I would imagine, for budgets in the league. And I just think looking from the inside out, he does a brilliant job, and it's going to be tough. Josh, what do you make of Exeter?
Sorry.
You got those Christmas nuts in your mouth, haven't you? What was that?
The missus has just come home and put my... Yeah, and they were grapes, by the way, not nuts.
Oh, grapes, there you go.
Red grapes. Okay. I thought you were going to ask. What do I think of Exeter? I think Exeter are... inoffensive. I've got nothing against them. Obviously, it's that local derby, but well-run club. Always produce talent as well.
Yeah.
Tough place to go. I'm not even sure if I've seen us win the times I've been there. Anyway, but it's a difficult place to go because it feels so close.
Yeah, it's quite enclosed, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And this whole argument, I think, of having Coldwell out is because I think they started so well.
Yeah.
And then they've dropped off a little bit. I think their keeper, his name escapes me right now, by the way.
Joe Whitworth.
Yeah. Whitworth, he'll go on to play for England if he carries on like this.
He looks class.
They have like a poor team on paper, but yet they work so well on the pitch. So
yeah,
we could get found out in cases, in turnovers, and I just think we need to be on it because it's never an easy game to go. I mean, even last season with Aguilera when he scored, I think that was a bit controversial because the ref got in the way.
Ref got in the way. Yeah.
Oh mate, it's so funny. But yeah, it's definitely not going to be an easy place to go at all.
Yeah.
And bearing in mind they'll be right up for it as well.
Yeah.
And it always gets a little bit heated, and I like that. I've got nothing against them. A well-run club, never boisterous, never. I don't know. They're just. I'm not saying I've got a soft spot for them, but I don't hate them.
Yeah. Like I said, last year I remember going there, and we got battered. We got absolutely battered for 90 minutes. Played us off the park. Yeah, like I said, Jed Ward was that was in a round. He got his chances, and he was brilliant. But
he's doing very well at Forest Green, by the way. Jed Ward.
He's doing brilliant. Yeah, doing brilliant. It was
really
quite funny, wasn't it? I looked the other day. It's quite well. There was Dan Ellison playing for Aldershot in the game the other day.
Yeah.
And who scored the equaliser for Aldershot? Ryan Jones. And he should have got given more chances. I still believe that. I thought he was really good when he got chances.
And Kofi got his first goal for Yeovil as well.
Yeah, Kofi. That's good to see.
To pass on that information because we got talking to Jed Ward. I think he's going to come back in next season, claim that number 1 shirt, and games like Exeter, Oxford when he first came in.
Yeah.
Like shows you why. So put on a good little show at Exeter, and the fans will remember that because it is a tough place to go.
Yeah, very tough. I mean, we'll get into lineups now, and then we'll do our predictions for this game, and then we'll quickly talk about Stevenage as well. We won't do our lineups for Stevenage. I'll do a post on the socials about our lineups for the Stevenage game in a few days' time. But for now, we'll just do the lineups for Stevenage, get into Stevenage for a few minutes, and then we'll do them. So, yeah, lineups for Exeter, of course, drop them down in the comments below as well. And don't forget, if you're watching after, or if you're watching now and you don't leave your score predictions in the chat, then make sure you leave both predictions for Exeter and Stevenage. Apologies, I still haven't. I've been so busy recently. I just haven't had time to do the add up the scores and stuff for the giveaway league. So I'll make sure that is done by the next episode. I know I said that the other day, but apologies about that. But Neil, we'll get into your starting 11 first for Exeter. What are you going for?
I'll tell you, but you probably give me pelters for it.
No, each of their own. If you want to get that same back five again, then do it.
Griffin goal. Taylor in the middle of Wilson and Mola as a back three. Senior and Belongo, either side of Conter and Lindsay. Sotirio and Hutchinson off of Martin, and then leave all the artillery on the bench to try and do something at the end of the game.
Yeah,
I still believe you get the best output out of Mako in 30 minutes at the end of the game rather than playing him for 60 at the start.
I agree. Yeah,
I think he's just an empty bag come sort of like the second half. I just think he's far better off the bench for us.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and also that's the thing you got to think of. You know, there's a game 3 days after in there as well. Then there's a game 2 days after. So it's going to be, to be fair, I'm not really going to have, obviously when it first come out, when I'm getting there on Boxing Day and I'm looking at the lineup, it might be a bit of a dodgy one. But then, like you said, you got to think there's 3 games in 5 days, 6 days. So it's going to be
there's volume coming up, but I just feel like you look at Saturday, if you can get a side like Wrexham to be, if you can still be in the game at that point at home to Wrexham, you can definitely still be in the game at that point at home to away at Exeter, and then you've got the likes of, you know, like I said, Macca, Ford, Thomas, Omocherry, that you can just launch onto that pitch when, you know, legs, you're starting to get leggy, the game gets stretched. That's a whole different kettle of fish to deal with once them lads come on, and the game's going to be there to go and win potentially, let alone go and get back into. Because if you look at Saturday, the scoreline and the way the game was going made Horseman's mind up for him as to what to do. It was the equation was simple to, like, the solution was there. Exeter, if we're at 0-0, you either look at the game and how it's panning out and you go, do you know what, we'll take this now considering how the game's gone, or you go, do you know what, we'll roll the dice here and we'll try and get something.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, to be fair, my lineup, well, we'll post it in another day, but my lineup will be very different for the Stevenage game, just because of the way they are. They're still very physical. They're still pretty much playing the same way under Alex Ravel than they were Steve Evans. But Josh, what would your lineup be for Exeter?
I'll give it to you nice and simple then. Griffiths, back 4, Senior, Taylor, Wilson, Mola. Middle 2, Conte, Lindsay. Next 3, Thomas, Hutchinson in the 10, because I thought he did all right when he came on. And then Shack attack on the right with Promise on a cherry up top.
Very good. I like it. If it's Horseman again, I'd probably go with a back 3. Play the same formation that Exeter do. Also to note, Kramer, who's been very, very good for Exeter, I think he's injured because he come off around the 20th minute against Burton. So, yeah, he won't be playing. But, yeah, my team, Griffiths in goal, back 3 of Taylor, Wilson and Mola. Thomas is the left wing back. Senior on the right. Midfield 2 of Conte, Lindsay. I would go with Shaq Ford on the right. I would go with Shaq Ford up top with Omocherry and Hutchinson in the 10. That would be my lineup. And then I would probably, like I said, make a lot of changes for the Stevenage game. Because, very, very physical team. But, yeah, lineups. Neil, lineup Score prediction, sorry, for Exeter. What are you going with?
0-0.
0-0.
Neil.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
Two sides that will stink it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Lindsay, I think is on 4 still. I think he's on 4 yellows. There's quite a few players. I think maybe one or 2 yellows away from.
I think we would have heard if he was, wouldn't he? People would have been talking about it on socials.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Josh, score prediction for Exeter?
I'll go. I don't think it's good enough, but given where we are, I think I'll go same as Wrexham 1-1.
1-1. Goal scorers?
Let's go back-to-back games for Promise I'm a Cherry, the big Irish boy.
Promise I'm a Cherry. Yeah, I'll go.
5-1 gas.
What's that?
5-1 gas.
No, 5-1. I'll go for the same score as last year. I'll go 1-0 gas.
Fair.
We haven't had a win for a while, have we? So surely we're due a win. I don't know. Does it actually say he's got 5 yellows, Footmob? Yeah, Footmob's usually pretty spot on as well. So yeah, if that's right, then he's suspended.
Grant Ward, then will it, or would we go Garrett? I don't know,
maybe Garrett.
But Garrett's not looking like he's. Yeah, I don't know. What would I do then? I would go. Could you drop Macca deeper? No, I'd go Grant Ward.
No, I'd go Garrett over all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think whatever's gone
especially
on before,
against Exeter.
Whatever's gone on before, with player personnel, Taylor, whatever's gone on upstairs. I mean, I know there's been talk about certain players going out the door and interference, etc. But especially Saturday, if the owners were that hell bent on it, they wouldn't even be on the bench, let alone get brought on. If they were that adamant, they want to stay fit and get him sold on and gone, or put on loan.
It'd be interesting.
Maybe it's just, we've seen what we've seen under Taylor, and I think if someone can get hold of, like, there's no denying Garrett's a talented boy. He's won what he's won as far as personal accolades at Blackburn for being a talented boy. So it's just how you get it out of him, isn't it? And that's management 101, isn't it? Finding a way to see what makes them tick and go and operate to the best of their ability. And I'm not saying Orson's going to be able to do that, but someone potentially, whether Calderon wants to keep him at the club or whatever, like there's no doubt he's a talented boy.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Chris Collier going 1-1, Ford and Blue 1-1. Ben Darrell agrees with me, 1-0 gas. My goal score, by the way, I'll go with Shaq to score. I'll go with that. I'm not going to read it out, but there you go, 2-2. Yusuf 2-0 gas, I think that is. Tom Butler going 1-1. Is Jakey Boy, the best news correspondent. Yeah, there you go, Mr. Hemmings. Garrett's getting recalled. Paul Davis has gone 2-2 draw. Said will tell players tomorrow. Harry Jenkins has gone 1-1. So yeah, if you haven't already left your prediction on screen, then make sure you leave it in the comments and leave your Stevenage prediction in the comments. We'll quickly get on to Stevenage now, talk a little bit about them. I'll actually be doing quite well as of late. Started poorly, but they're doing very well. They're 1 point above. They're 1 point below Exeter. Played 19, won 7, drew 5, lost 7. Currently on 26 points. Last 5, drew 0-0 away to Blackpool. Beat Stockport 2-1 at home. Beat Northampton 2-0. Drew 0-0 with Orient and drew 1-1 with Reading. So they're on pretty good form, and they've conceded the 3rd least amount of goals in the division, which is pretty mental. They've only conceded 17 goals, so only just behind Wrexham and Birmingham. Like I said, to be honest, from what I've seen of them, nothing much has really changed other than they're playing a back 4 more often. I think under Evans, they were playing a back three for a lot of their games. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough one, though. Ravel's done really well. He's took over, not really changed too much. Obviously, he was there as an assistant anyway, because of being that striker that played under Evans when he was at Rotherham. So, yeah, for me, it's going to be a tough one. Neil, what are your thoughts on that game with Stevenage?
Yeah, it won't be pleasant. Like, the blueprint was there for Ravel when he stepped into it. He didn't really have to do much. If he tried to reinvent the wheel, then he was going to get sacked and outbeat, and the fans were going to get annoyed. Like, the blueprint was there just to carry on doing what it was doing. They should be defensively sound, and they should be they should be decent in both boxes, given the aerial artillery they've got. He doesn't. Again, he's got someone like Piergiani there. He doesn't really have to he doesn't have to do much as far as rally his troops or boss that dressing room. He's got someone who does it for him. I know I keep harping back days gone by, but we had that once upon a time, and it makes life easy for your manager when you've got a senior pro that just does all that for you and then reports back to you. So they're well drilled. Nothing's changed over the years. They've got continuity as far as knowing what their pattern is, what they do from dead balls, etc. He's just tried to tweak it a little bit. They was never going to be what they were under Evans as far as a points total with a novice manager coming in. But I think they've done okay. You've got to look at Stevenage and the body of work and what they've done as a football club as a whole. To be where they are, they're doing good. They're doing good.
Yeah, 100%. Especially, it'd be the first time me going there since we won 4-0 in the promotion season when,
that was an absolute walk in the park. That was the most novel of a game ever. It was like playing against Cones, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's gonna be nothing like that at all. If it is, then that's gonna be an amazing manager bounce. But that was the last time.
That was a Tisdale side though, wasn't it? So
yeah, exactly. Tisdale. I think even didn't Lindsay come off the bench as well, or even start? So that's mad. You had Boswick and that.
They had no legs in their side whatsoever. We ran all over them.
Yeah, we absolutely battered them. But because I didn't go that season. By that time I was pretty frustrated, and even that game was mad, wasn't it? Last season, 2-0 down within 15-20 minutes. Looked like we're gonna get battered, and then somehow Taylor changes formation, and then Evans masterclass, LT scoring, Martin getting a goal as well. Yeah, it was crazy. Thanks to the super chat as well. Weirdwood Net, watching in Salween Hospital, just had my appendix out, so hope you get well soon and recover. Loving the appointment if it happens. Think it's a great choice. Happy Christmas to you all. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate you. You're always in here. Merry Christmas to you, and thanks for the £5 super chat. I appreciate it.
Merry Christmas, mate.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, and Merry Christmas to everyone, of course, as well. But get well soon. Everyone's showing love in the chat as well, which is good. Elliot masterclass. That was some. Like you said, that was one of the easiest, and it should have been more. I think Sammy Nicholson should have had about 5. He had about 5 one-on-ones and just couldn't score.
He couldn't bury it.
Yeah, just couldn't score. But Josh, what's your thoughts on that? Do you agree with Neil? It's just going to be again a really, really tough game.
Well, listen, I said to you before, I don't hate Exeter. I hate Stevenage, mate. I can't stand them. They're just so annoying to play against. They're just so, usually, when we play them, well structured, you know what you're going to get. I also think, again, Neil, what you said about, if Ravel goes in and tries to, rip up the script and tries something very new like that, it doesn't go down well. They are what they are. I remember, I think a couple months ago, Neil was talking about Wickham, if you remember.
Yeah, when we talked about Wickham, yeah.
Yeah, they know what they are. They do it very well. You know what you're going to get. Stevenage are a little lesser than, obviously, the Wickham this season in that, but you know what you're going to get. You're going to be kicked about. It's going to be tough. But they do have a little bit of quality. Now they're adding quality and they're keeping them out. So, it's not going to be a very nice game at all. And they're picking up form. So, it's a bit of a worry, my friend.
Yeah, 100%. So like I said, we won't do our if you want to put your lineup in. Do you guys know what lineup, or should we just do it in a post?
I couldn't tell you now because we never know what knocks you're gonna look at. And suspensions and that.
We'll just do a post.
Depends if we get battered at Exeter.
It's a tough one, and like you said, it could be a manager bounce. But we do our predictions though. Like I said to you all, make sure if you don't leave your predictions now for both, then make sure you leave your predictions both after in the comments. Neil, I'll go with you first. What is your prediction for Stevenage away?
I think if you was to look at us as a side now and look at them, I can see us just getting old man and out dogged here. I think they're going to be better at what they do than what we are at what we do. And let's be honest, what we do isn't fantastic. And I think they'll play for dead balls and set pieces, and they always get joy off of it. I think like Piergiani wins everything, whether it's first or second contact. He gets on in. I just think that's one of them where it's going to be a bridge too far for our lads to be able to keep out that level of wave of pressure. And it doesn't come with a lot of flashy Hollywood football. It's just a constant wave of aggression, and we've not stood up to that all season really as a side. I just think we'll get old man and outdone, and I think maybe 2-0. I just think we get beat up. We get beat up, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Josh, your prediction?
Well, firstly, I'll just answer the comment in the chat because it's come up about 10 times. Thatcher's and Sam, I'll be putting a post out within the next week or two, mate. I'm going to chat to each and every one that replied so I can find the best people for it. All right. Secondly, for me, I think that has a 1-0 Stevenage win all over it, to be honest. Just it's constant wave of aggression, as Neil says, and I don't know. I can't see us getting much from that game. I'm going to go 1-0 Stevenage, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, yes, saying that thing as well, obviously about I mean, it's going to be. Is it going to be as mad as AFTV when you do your thing? Do you reckon it'd be absolute carnage?
Well, this is why I'm trying to pick and choose because I want that channel to be kind of accessible to all. Had a guy on Facebook saying, my son would love to do it. He's 9 years old. Like, would you do it? I'll take a 9-year-old on there. It may not be so good. So I'm going to have to pick and choose well. I want a mix of everyone. Old heads, young heads. I want Blackthorn end people, South Stand, male, female, anyone who wants to go on it, but they have to be the right person. So, I'm in the process. I had loads, so I'm in the process of trying to find good. Yeah, I want the AFT model, but without the kind of like the idiots, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
And yes, you'll be on it, Charlie. Of course you are, mate.
Of course. I
want Neil on there, but I don't know
Neil will be on there smashing the gaffer up outside the
Neil, let me just say, me and Charlie are walking through.
Honestly, I don't think you'd get the emotional reaction you get out of everyone. When the whistle goes, by the time I've walked the concourse, I'm over it.
I'll tell you what, we went to the Mem on Saturday, me and Charlie, and we were walking through, and we have a lot of people come up and spud us and say, "Oh, we really love the podcast and love the channels, love the vlogs and stuff." And every single one of those people were saying how much they agree with you. Oh, that Neil, he speaks a lot of sense, and you're like the unsung hero and stuff. Because I know you're not everywhere on social media, but everyone agree. It's a bit of annoying actually, because I try so hard doing it, and they all just agree with you.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't know if that's a good sign or not. You know what football fans are like.
It's a great sign.
No, it's a good thing.
Yeah, they all love you, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the thing about this one. We've all got different opinions. We've all got, Neil's more honest and straightforward, get to the point, whereas me and Josh try to be like that, but we're also very sort of
excited.
What's the word? Yeah, that's why
he forgets about it after full time, and I come home and Chloe's like, "Did you win or lose?"
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I'm just fuming.
Mate, you got to understand this game's beat me up. Like,
yeah, fair.
I'm bitter from it. So like, I see both sides of the coin, sort of thing. I can see it from.
Yeah.
I get your standing from it, but I still see it as that bloke in the change room getting cups of tea thrown at my head. So
because you are so calm and stuff. Because we got Chris Collier in the chat there. We always have about a 5-10 minute chat before I go and sit down. Proper legend. Charlie was there, and every week, where this week people coming up and just saying, "Oh, that Neil, he's always spot on, always speaks the truth. You know, get him in the dugout."
Yeah, just get him in the dugout.
Calm and composed, and me and Charlie are obviously like, you know, in fairyland, I suppose.
I'll be down the road with Taylor within a month.
Yeah, yeah, right. We should get paid off for 3 years.
Yeah.
Right, let's get into some more predictions as well. Paul Davis 1-1. Have some faith. Yeah, to be fair, we do have faith, but you got a like Stevenage are horrible. Like if there was to you say to me, oh, what two sides in the division would you not want to play? It would be Stevenage and Wickham.
And it's also the journey.
Yeah, the journey is one of the worst.
Yes, exactly. So,
yeah, I'm not looking forward to it, to be honest. The journey, the game, of course. I mean, I always look forward to the game, but
if you ain't got that Tuesday night walk under the underpass.
Yeah, exactly. That's one good thing. Yeah, no, Godfather. What else? Even into Patrick Wells, I've been so disfranchised with the gas of late, but probably excited for the first time in ages with the rumour of Calderon. But yeah, a lot of people have gone for a draw, a loss for Stevenage. So yeah, make sure you get all your predictions in. Both of the games will be going towards, of course, the giveaway. So for those that you haven't left your predictions in now, then make sure you leave them in the comments after the episode and put them in for Exeter and Stevenage. But yeah, that will be the end of this episode. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in on the live, and thanks to everyone if you're watching after and you watched it, that would be appreciated. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to Josh's channel. You got TikTok as well. Follow him on there. All of the socials for all of us are below. And yeah, subscribe. Thanks to Neil again. Thanks to Josh again for coming on. And yeah, hope you all have a brilliant Christmas. Hope you spend time with your family, your friends. Do reach out as well if you're struggling, especially at this time of year. I know a lot of people, struggle with mental health as well. So reach out to anyone. All of us are there to talk to. And yeah, enjoy your Christmas. To any of you that are going to Exeter, I'll see you there. And yeah, that will be the next video, apart from if Calderon, of course, gets announced tomorrow. But yeah, from all of us, have a good Christmas, and we'll see you in the next one. Up the gas.
Up the gas.
Save chasers.